Oi you, listen up. I'm going to have my say.
G'day guys, it's Sean from That's My Say here, and I wanted to talk today about basically a little event that happened with me with Facebook, and it sort of ties in with what I said yesterday, although it involves a discussion I had with one other person, which I didn't think was an argument, but anyway, I'll go on to sort of describe what happened, and yeah, I think it was just bizarre, and it's probably worthy of a little bit of discussion, but we'll go on. Basically, I left a link to my Movember page, which the Mo is going pretty good, I think, and just asking people to support me. And a person who I know on Facebook and YouTube came back questioning the validity of Movember and saying that if they can't look after themselves, then they'll go to the doctor and get some help. They don't need to get checkups and all that sort of stuff, and asking where the money goes. So I gave them a bit of information, which I pretty much just copied from the Movember page, about what Movember's about, and like the importance of checkups and where the money goes and that sort of thing. And they came back with a statement which I thought was just amazing and just blew my mind, that prostate cancer is caused by sodomy and that people deserve it. And I just was shocked. And like as I'm talking, I'll have these things up on here so you can see the actual part of the thing that I've got from I did a screenshot of the discussion. I just could not believe it. I basically replied saying that wasn't true, that scientific evidence did definitely not support it, and in fact would contradict it. One of the things they say is a reducing factor in the risks of prostate cancer, that, I mean, it can reduce your likelihood to get it, is sexual activity, and it doesn't draw any distinction about what kind of sexual activity it should be. But anyway, and I said in that I thought that attitude was a little bit unchristian, knowing this person to be a person who is a Christian and believe in the Bible and all that sort of stuff. Not my cup of tea, but everyone has the right to believe what they want to believe. They replied saying, what would I know about Christian values? Which I do know about Christian values. While I might not follow any particular church or believe in the Bible as such, I'm not ignorant of it. And they referred me to Romans chapter 1, which is basically about God apparently bestowing horrible things on people who take part in depraved sexual acts and that sort of thing. And it particularly refers, doesn't use the word gay, although that is a modern word, but talks about men to men and that sort of thing. Anyway, not going to have a scripture lesson here. If you want to read it, just Google Romans chapter 1. You'll be able to read it for yourself. Anyway, I replied back saying that person could throw all the scripture at me that they liked, that it wouldn't change my statement. I still believe that that's an unchristian attitude. And basically said that I didn't want to continue a conversation where someone wished death on other people just because they didn't believe in their sexuality. And not that I said this, but I especially don't want to continue a conversation where people base it on such incorrect statements. I mean, I'm not even going to call it incorrect information, because it's not information at all. It doesn't have any basis in truth. And then wham bam replied, okay, you're not my friend, and blocked from Facebook, blocked on YouTube, all this sort of stuff. And it just spun me out that someone would want to cut off ties just because we don't believe in the same thing. I mean, none of us are all going to believe in the same thing, and we're not going to agree on the same things. One of my best friends is a devout Catholic, goes to church every weekend, believes in the Bible as gospel and all that sort of stuff, and knows very well that I don't go to church, that I don't believe in the Bible as gospel. You know what? We never have a problem with it. And like, he believes that what the Pope says is true and all that sort of stuff. And this person unfriended me. It just got me thinking of the fragile nature of Facebook friends, and I guess friends of social networks generally, in that, like, yeah, I guess it's easy to cut ties with each other, and not that it worries me. I mean, if this person doesn't want to be my friend in Facebook, it's going to make very, very, very little difference to my life. I didn't mind this guy, and I still don't have anything against him. I think his behaviour was perhaps a bit rash, but anyway, so be it. That's their decision. Anyway, that's their decision whether they want to be friends or not. Doesn't worry me at all. But yeah, it got me thinking about how fragile these relationships can be, and that if someone, for whatever reason, doesn't agree with you or decides that you've betrayed the friendship in some obscure way, they can just cut things off. And I think it's just something to bear in mind when you have friends on social networks. That and you can have friends on social networks or relationships with people on social networks where you have a real life relationship, and they are significantly different to people who are just friends with you on social networks. I think it's just important just to be aware of the difference of those friendships and that sort of thing. I guess as well as being aware, being a little bit wary. Not necessarily be afraid of them, but it just blew me away. I just couldn't believe it. It just made me laugh that someone would cut off a friendship which we previously had no trouble with, and in fact he'd done what he could to support me with my efforts in raising money for the Sydney Dugong for multiple sclerosis, and in that he'd done a shout out and shared it with people on Facebook and that sort of thing, and I appreciated that, and I thought it was a very nice thing to do. But yeah, anyway, what do you guys think about the conversation? Do you think I was out of line, or do you think the other person was out of line? And if you think I was, hey, that's fine. Be honest. I'm open to criticism. That's fine, and I'm open to conversation. And if someone doesn't believe in the same thing I do, or I don't agree with them, that's fine. I'm always up to having a conversation about them, and I'll discuss my point of view, and they can discuss their point of view. And if we don't agree with each other, it doesn't really matter. I mean, one of us might be wrong, one of us might be right. We both might be right, just coming from different directions. We both might be completely wrong. Who knows? And in the end, does it really matter? Let us know what you think. Anyway, that's my say. What's yours? See you later. Take care.
Well, that's my say. What do you reckon?